Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're new here, my name is Christian Oliveri. I create automations that are related to lead generation, email, and other business applications. Today what I'm doing is I am putting together a make.com automation that is going to be enriching the number of beds associated with a given business. The bed count matters because only companies above 100 beds are qualified to work with us. I work for a consulting company that helps other companies reduce the cost of their waste and recycling costs, and when they have over 100 beds, they're qualified to work with us. What I'm doing with this sheet, once it's enriched, is I am giving it to my colleague who's going to be cold calling these businesses, and he's only going to be calling on businesses of 100 beds and over. As you can see, most of the companies associated with the spreadsheet do not have any beds, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together an automation that figures out the bed count for each of these businesses, and that will allow me to decide who is qualified and who is not qualified for our service. Let's start building. So let's go ahead and create a new scenario. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to search this spreadsheet for any rows that have this cell empty. So any cell where bed count is empty, we want to search that row. Let's choose the right account here. Hipsy, Texas, that's the name of the spreadsheet. Let's go and find that. HPSI, here it is. We're going to start with one row. We're eventually going to move that up to a few rows that are sent every minute. Once we turn on the automation, we want to test it out with just one row searched before we upgrade it. We're going to search when the bed count does not exist. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's run it once. I gotta go in and save it again. Save, run it once, and we got row number 84. That is exactly the row that we want to search first. The next thing that we want to do is we'll go with ChatGPT to do this, OpenAI. We're going to generate a completion. We are going to go with GPT-5.1. This is a good web searcher. Alright, so here is the prompt that I went with. I went with a single system prompt, two user prompts, the first one being the example input, and then an assistant prompt directly after, which is the example output, just to show the AI exactly the type of input it would receive and what that output should be based on that example input. And then finally, the user prompt, where I'm actually asking for an output where I gave it the employer name, the address, the city, state, zip, and then the website of that facility in order to figure out how many beds that they have. And then if you want to pause the video and read through the developer prompt, go ahead and do that. But this should be good to go. One thing that we need to do is we need to add the bed counts once the OpenAI module generates it. So let's go Hipsy, Texas. We're updating that row that was just searched. So we're going to use the row number here. And we are updating bed count with that output, the results. So let's run this once. We're just going to be searching one row right now, but eventually, once we know it's all set, I'm going to turn it on to 1 minute and turn this to 5 or so rows so that every minute 5 rows are searched and the bed counts are found. 393. All right. Let's check it out. Blue skies of Texas. How many beds does have? 80 beds. 277 independent living units, but leases to HSC, an 80-bed healthcare center, and 23. So that's about 380, 393. East Campus. All right, so I'll take that result. I'm happy with that. Let's run it again. It doesn't have to be exact, these responses, but as long as they're a ballpark number, I'm not going to be referencing this number in any content that I'm using. When my colleague goes to call on these companies, he's not really going to reference the number at all. He just wants a ballpark figure to decide whether or not he's going to call on them to sell our service, because if they're less than 100 beds, then we typically do not work with them. So I don't need an exact number here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this up to 5 rows being searched. And I'm going to turn this on to run every minute, but before I do that, I'll show you what 5-row search looked like. All it's going to do is just go through here 5 times. It's going to have one search here and then 5 and 5. And that's what it's going to look like every single minute. So as you can see, we just got these updates put in there. So thank you for watching. This is just a quick enrichment video that I wanted to showcase. Anytime that I have to build an automation myself, I typically just record myself to teach any people that are looking to create similar simple automations like this that involve enriching spreadsheets with information. I hope you got something out of this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.